With the help of phrases like research and knowledge than none other than Warren Buffett, I'm going to tell you all today how XRP may make millions by 2026. In today's video, I will be dissecting Warren Buffett's identical investing method. If you share Buffett's mindset, you would be foolish not to investigate XRP more because it is incredibly cheap. First things first, how does Warren Buffett approach investing? Yes, it's called value investing, and it's central to Buffett's strategy. Other key elements include a concentration on quality businesses, a long-term view, capital allocation, the circle of competence, and logic and discipline. Therefore, I will focus on the most crucial part, which is value investment. Basically, Buffett looks for companies that are selling for less than what they're really worth, which is determined by things like earnings, assets, and growth prospects. For the most part, Warren Buffett stays away from tech investments due to the sector's high level of speculation, which is based on expectations rather than actual past performance, present assets, or future growth. The basic question is what will happen when firms like Tesla, which trades at a premium relative to its earnings, launch a product. Another strategy he employs to lessen potential losses is the margin of safety, or purchasing an item at a price much below its true market worth. So this is the main point I want to make about XRP right off the bat. How much is this coin worth on its own? And it's just insane when you bring it to a close and dissect it here. It is crucial to comprehend the inherent worth of XRP. A term coined by Warren Buffett, intrinsic value, describes the worth of an asset apart from speculation, short-term price changes, and market hype. It is based on the item's underlying economic utility, cash flows, or productive capability. The XRP ledger's native coin, XRP, adds another layer of complexity. Not like stocks, XRP doesn't make money or pay dividends in a traditional sense. The fact that it can be used to make cheap, quick international payments over Ripple's network is where most of its value comes from. Additionally, it is starting to play a part as a medium of exchange, collateral, and tokenized asset, as well as a store of value. But the fluctuations of supply have a significant impact on XRP's price. This is when things get completely bonkers if we apply Warren Buffett's XRP valuation model. The fair value of XRP has been estimated in recent studies using financial models tailored for cryptocurrency. One such study is from Valhill Capital, which covers the years 2023 to 2025. In this category, you'll find metrics like transaction velocity, XRP reuse frequency, adoption rates, global liquidity pools, and risk discount rates versus time value. One important model is the pipeline flow, which takes into account a base global volume of $104 trillion, a market capture of 54% over 100 years, a velocity of 10 days, and an emphasis on transactional utility and store of value ratio. It also discounts future flows depending on competition and velocity. Based on the pipeline movement, we may estimate that each XRP is worth $3,541. This is the reasonable price of XRP based on Warren Buffett's models. However, I must emphasize that many things must come together for this to be a reality. We are trading far below this today, as I think all of you watching this should be able to tell. It gets much more intriguing than this, though. If XRP even manages to take 10% of this, most of you watching with a very tiny amount of wealth might become billionaires. The Athe and Michnik model is an alternative that reduces supply while simulating adoption cycles and striking a balance between the need for transactions and store of value. And this would lead to an optimistic $9,000 price for XRP, with a more conservative $4,813 per coin. The 99-year Golden Eagle, on the other hand, is a transaction medium that predicts future cash flows from deposits, dividends, and non-fungible tokens, NFTs. The current market value of XRP is $13,000 US. It continues to rise from that point onwards. The quantum liquidity model is an illogical example. In this very extreme case, XRP serves as the sole store of value. An incredible $513,000 per coin would be the price of XRP at that point. The $3,541 price target for XRP is, in my opinion, entirely feasible based on the pipeline flow. Will this occur during this bull run? Under no circumstances. However, I do believe that this time around, we will begin to witness this level of adoption, since XRP will be accessible through ETFs, large banks, and will be utilized for cross-border payments at a rising rate. The fundamental focus of the pipeline flow is this. Therefore, if you possess any quantity of XRP, this is quite thrilling. The following question I had was whether XRP has significant advantages over its competitors. The reason I wanted to know this is because the business model is obviously another area of concentration for Warren Buffett. Would you say it has a significant edge over the competition? He plans to put money into it if that's the case. Looking at the basics and the real cold truths of what XRP is makes its competitive advantages very obvious. Quickness and economy of cost rank highest. As compared to Ethereum, which takes slightly longer than that, or Bitcoin, which takes 10 to 60 minutes and has larger fees, the XRPL executes transactions in 3 to 5 seconds for pennies on the dollar. Additionally, XRP's scalability is amazing. It processes more transactions per second than 99.9% of other cryptocurrencies and has the ability to increase that number to 65,000. The scalability is a reflection of Buffett's preference for companies that can gain a significant competitive advantage through expansion. Also present is the network effect. Consequently, Ripple has established a network of more than 200 banks that accept XRP payments. Among these banks are Santander and Standard Chartered, among many others. Because of this, XRP's usefulness and liquidity are enhanced with every new adoption, thanks to a network effect. RippleNets and ODL, which include XRP into actual financial transactions, bolster this. That would be absolutely perfect for Buffett. We greatly value regulatory clarity. In that court fight, we utterly destroyed the SEC, as is well known. It is wonderful that we have the deflationary mechanisms. Such extensive deflationary mechanisms are absent from the vast majority of cryptocurrencies. Beyond the monetary aspect, there is also the matter of variety. You can see that XRP's applicability goes beyond merely cross-border payments thanks to the latest XRPL enhancements, which include AMMs, NFTs, tokenized assets, and CBDC support. It delves further into tokenization of real-world assets, DEFI, and stablecoin collateral. Its adaptability expands its competitive advantage beyond just payments. Now, XRP does have some flaws. Problems and dangers posed by competitors will always exist. One of these is centralization. You may have noticed that the Ripple team is competing with the XRP team for the circulating supply. SWIFT is just one of several competitors in the cryptocurrency market. Others include XLM and CBDCS. Additionally, market volatility is a factor that impacts all cryptocurrencies. Although it's not always a disadvantage in the competition, it is something to bear in mind. Thus, XRP is compatible with Buffett's strategy in a myriad of ways. I mean, compared to the competition, it offers huge benefits. When you consider the business it operates in, its goals, and the enormous potential it has to influence even a fraction of that industry, you can't help but be amazed by its ludicrous inherent value. To sum up, XRP's speed, cost, and scalability give it a leg up on the competition. It has a ton of untapped potential and is grossly underpriced when measured against its fundamental worth. Looking at XRP today and thinking, yeah, this isn't really that big of a deal, is, in my opinion, ridiculous. Mass adoption has already occurred. More so than any other cryptocurrency, it boasts unprecedented degrees of regulatory clarity. Along with a plethora of other remarkable initiatives, they are constructing their own bank, which will enable it to reach new heights in terms of acceptance. You can choose to ignore XRP at this time if you so like, but if you believe Buffett's strategy, it is currently an incredible crypto choice due to its extreme undervaluation. Actually, it's among the greatest. 1, you've probably never heard of them. 2, you won't see any others that are even close to XRP's level. I mean, to be honest, they don't have XRP's network effect, therefore their chances of success are lower. However, there are still some good ones. I won't go so far as to claim XRP is the sole worthwhile cryptocurrency, but it certainly outshines the other 99.99%. That is so obvious, you know. Furthermore, I want it made crystal clear that I will be trading XRP daily. I accomplished something really remarkable not long ago. This is something I'd want to show you. My Crusader signal, a trading indication I recently constructed, is what I utilize. You know, I essentially simply made this Google sheet here, and I inquired. On these figures, we were able to calculate the potential profit from trading on my Crusader signal with a 30% trade balance over the past 5 months. Plus, you might potentially double your initial investment of $10,000 into $41,000 in just 5 months. A tremendous quantity of value increase and price growth. How fast your wealth can increase with this signal is mind-boggling, not to mention how easy it is to use. Put 30% of your balance into the market when you see a buy indication. When you see a sell signal, that's about it. All right, to protect your gains, you begin by establishing positive stop losses, and the process continues thereafter. In addition, the Crusader signal always manages to catch the market's bottoms and tops. It continues all the way down there, as is visible from this vantage point. Capturing the bottom, getting the top, capturing the bottom, getting the top, capturing the bottom, getting the top. Incorporate this into your trading platform with ease. And you know what happens if you implement the plan that I've just shown you in this video. Getting your money quadrupled in 5 months is definitely a good deal. That is just remarkable. There isn't an indication that can do that. That is why there is no better trading indicator available than this one. Plus, you can get your hands on it. You may get the best buy and sell signals for any asset class with Trading Signal, which you can join by clicking the link below. Anything from Bitcoin and XRP to Ethereum and Solana to Tesla stock can be used with it. It operates on 3 distinct strategies. Read the testimonials. Right now, on the website, you can see who is winning in the community. Join now. It would be great to see you all there. Together, we can destroy this bull run. The audience for today's video is much appreciated. Till we meet again, have a nice day. The transcription was performed by turboscribe.ai. Remove this message by subscribing to Unlimited.